Hi, you're watching Yoga with AJ, and today we are going to do Virabhadrasana 2, the Warrior 2 pose. A few precautions: if you have diarrhea or stomach ailments, avoid practicing today. And if you have high blood pressure, it's advisable to practice under guided supervision. I'm going to show you the pose once and then break it down for you step by step. So we'd start off with our legs close to each other and then gently turn the toes out. But the movement is coming from the hip. So the entire leg is moving out from the hip. And we're just going to gently bend the knees and come back and see how that movement feels in the hip. Bring them back. Separate the feet a little bit more. Again, turn out from the hip, not just from the toes. Take a deep inhalation. As you exhale, bend the knees gently and come back. So you're using the muscles of your legs to go up and down, not just the knee joint. Be very careful that you don't put too much pressure on your knee. Don't take it too much towards the inside or the outside. The knee is tracking with the middle toe. And come back. So we're going to go a little wider now. Bring the legs in, shake them out slightly. We're going to go much wider with our legs, and I want you to be mindful of a few things when you're doing that. So when the legs are wide, there may be a tendency for the stomach to fall forward and the hips to rise. So you want to make sure that you lift the stomach gently, bringing the hip points, the hip bones at the front, pointing forward, and the tailbone at the back going down heavy towards the earth, towards the floor. Right? So you don't want, when you turn the legs out, to be in that position. Alright, let's try that one more time. So take the legs out a little wider. And then turn toes out, bring the heels in gently and coming down again and straighten up. One more time, just feeling the hip joint starting to open. Last time and up. Now we're going to take the legs even wider. So you bring your hands out and the outside edges of the feet are just below your fingers. Again, be very mindful, keep the stomach engaged, tailbone heavy, and you're not lifting the back and dropping through the stomach. Now we're going to turn the right foot out to the right. And when you do this, there may be a tendency for the hip to move to the left. So gently press down from the hip into the outer edge of the left foot, turn the left toe slightly in, bring the hands to the waist and just press your shin bone forward. So you're pressing forward with the shin and back. Let's try that once more. See where the movement is coming from. What muscles are you feeling work? Let's try that again on the other side. Turn the left foot out to the left, turn the right toe slightly in and just moving from the hip. So the buttock is going down and the knee is coming out over the ankle. So if you feel that the knee is overshooting, then take the legs a little wider. And stop, come back to the center. Let's start moving into the pose. We're getting the legs fairly wide and the entire leg all the way from the foot up to the hip is engaged. So you don't have your knees relaxed. You draw up through all the muscles in your legs and make the leg muscles firm but not tight. Turn the right foot out to the right such that the heel of the right is aligned with the arch of the left foot. Turn the left toe slightly in. There may be a tendency for the hip to fall out. Press down from the hip all the way down into the outer edge of the foot. Take a nice deep inhale and gently bend your right leg such that the hip presses down, because your hip is opening and the knee is going towards the middle toes, or maybe in your mind you always think that it's going towards your pinky toe so that it opens completely, pressing down into the hip. Take a few deep breaths there and come back. Let's try the same thing on the other side. Turn the left toes out to the left, moving all the way from the hip. Turn the right toe slightly in. Take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, start to bend that leg. Think to be careful of with your upper body. Don't let the upper body twist. Keep the upper body facing towards the front. It's the thigh that's opening up and you're sitting down into this hip. and stretch up again. Let's try this pose with the arms now. Turn the right foot out to the right such that the right heel and the left arch are aligned. Turn the left toes slightly in. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Lift up to the stomach, press down through the shoulders. Tailbone heavy. Relax. Take another deep inhalation. As you exhale, start to bend your right leg, making sure that the knee is going out over the middle toes. If you have any neck ache, continue to look to the front, making sure that your hips and your shoulders are aligned. Torso to the front. If your neck feels good, look out over your right hand. Lift up through the stomach. Press down gently into your right hip. Breathing nicely there. 5 deep breaths. Firm up the left leg and press down into the outer edge of the left foot. Inhale to come out of the pose. Relax the arms. Let's switch. Turn. Now there will be a tendency for your upper body maybe to lean forward because you feel like you're going ahead, or there may be a tendency to relax the back leg. You want to make sure that the weight is evenly pressed down into both feet, especially the outer edge of the back foot, the straight leg, and that you're not leaning forward or back. So turn the right toes in, press down into the outer edge of that foot and feel the energy coming up through the legs, nice strong legs. Inhale, bring the arms up, relax the shoulders, keep the stomach engaged. As you exhale, bend the front leg without leaning forward or back. Turn the head towards your left fingers. Breathing nicely for 5 deep breaths. Strong inner thighs. The inner thigh muscles of both legs are working. Inhale, pressing down into your feet to release the pose. You can walk or jump your legs in and shake them out. Something that's very important that many beginners find difficult is to turn the leg out from the hip, and I want to show this to you from this side. So I have my leg turned out to the side and I'm bending. So if I use my outer thigh to bend, my knee will go towards my big toe and the hip will rise. You want to do the opposite. You want to turn the leg out in its hip socket, press the hip down without leaning forward and stay there, pressing down into the back foot. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're practicing this pose. Sometimes with the legs that wide, it is very difficult to maintain your balance. So you can, if you like, press the back heel against a wall and perform this pose with your heel pressing into the wall, imagining that you're pushing gently into the wall with that heel. So that was Virabhadrasana 2, the Warrior 2 pose. It's wonderful to strengthen the legs, the back, the shoulders, and open up and stretch the hips and the groins. It can also relieve backache, and especially during the second trimester of pregnancy. Continue to connect with yourself with me, AJ, on Mind, Body, Soul.